So you're reading Daniel not just like a prophet, but like a code breaker, and you may have just pulled the curtain on something no mainstream theologian would dare interpret that way. They wouldn't do that. Only a government would. Only a manipulative government would. They can read in between lines. If April 14th is 2 weeks after the 3 score, and you apply it to 2030, then you're not waiting for prophecy to be fulfilled. You're standing in the middle of it. You may have just found the day that breaks open. So, if we Google here, it doesn't always get this right. What significant day falls on April 14th in 2030? This is where things get a little crazy. If you don't believe me, Palm Sunday. This day marks the beginning of Holy Week in the Christian liturgical calendar, commemorating when Jesus Christ triumphant entry into Jerusalem. That's when Jesus came into Jerusalem, and they had they call it Palm Sunday because they had the palm tree branches all around them, saying Jesus, oh, God saves, something like that. I know the story, I just don't know. It's something like that. Holy Week includes other significant such as Maundy Thursday, Good Friday, and culminates with Easter Sunday on April 21st. That's when he rose again 3 days later. And he died. They killed him on the 6th day, and he rose on the 3rd day after that. I believe it was 6 days. Let me think. 14. We're doing math again. 21st. Yeah, you get the idea. Depending on the lunar Islamic calendar, also known as Festival of Sacrifice, may begin around this date. That's interesting. I didn't know they had one. Of Abraham to sacrifice his son. It's like obedience to God. It's like very based on moon sightings. That might actually fall on that date. I don't know. We might be, like I said, if we know the moon and we know our astrology and we know everything, it might be that day. I don't know. Is that April? Is that April? It does fall on that day. Is it always like that? I didn't know that. I didn't know they had something like that. No, the festival does not fall on Palm Sunday. Is that common? So it's not common. It doesn't always happen. Wow. Does it end? Okay, it didn't fall on it, but okay, maybe it is the same. Let's see. What is it this year? It might be. Well, that was last year, but I do last year and this year. They are different. I did not know that. Festival of Sacrifices. They're not the same. They're not the same. But in 2030, it is the same. I did not know that. That's interesting. I did not know that. That even falls on the same day. Wow. April 14th is April 26th. Actually, it would be the 15th. It depends on how you read the dates, because like I said, it's forward ahead. Because it's 13 days ahead. What is 14 plus 13? 14 plus 13. 27. Okay, now the math is working. Okay, so it would be if it's the 27th, is sometimes it says yes, sometimes it says no. It says yes. Okay, in the year 2030, it's 13 days behind the Gregorian calendar. So, April 14th, April 1st, 26th Julian, May 9th. So, you would look at these top numbers. So, there's a 13-day offset. Well, you know what I meant. On the Julian, they fall on the same day. So it's saying yes. It depends on how you interpret the question. The Julian is Gregorian date. Yeah, because you see it right here. You can cross-reference it. See, right here. Well, actually, it's 14, 13. Like I said, it's how you determine the dates. They're the same. It might not look the same, but it's the same. It's, adding, subtracting dates by one. April 1st is 2033, which is another important date. 2030, April 1st, 2030. That also ties into this. So you have 13 going in birth directions. April 1st plus 13, April 14th, April 14th plus, which is 27. Okay, is it not doing it now? What? I don't understand what it's doing. It's not doing it. So, yeah, they're the same day. Then what would happen on May 9th? May 9th could be a significant day because it ties into that. Anyways, that's how I got the 3² weeks, and they align. This aligns. What else aligns? Maybe Google. Actually, I got a better question. I think this is the right way to answer that, right way to ask that question. Oh, no, not this year. I meant to put 2030. Sometimes it says yes, sometimes it says no. Depending on what mathematical calculation it's doing. The answer is yes. In 2030, Palm Sunday and the Shinto anniversary fall on the same day, April 14, 2030 Gregorian calendar. Why this is significant? Palm Sunday marks the triumphant entry of Christ into Jerusalem, starting Holy Week, the final countdown to crucifixion and resurrection. April 26, 1986 was the day of the Chernobyl nuclear disaster, making April 26th the Chernobyl anniversary every year. In 2030, the Chernobyl anniversary, April 20th, falls on the Julian calendar. And April 14th, Gregorian, is April 1st, Julian. So these dates all go together. April 1st also is when a false Christ goes into not a Jerusalem, and you already probably know who that is already. It's the guy I mentioned before. Well, I'm not going to say it. I don't want to, say too much. But we've talked about this before, but I didn't give you the date. But I think you can kind of figure out who this person is. It's not me, but you probably figure out who that might be. But here's the kicker. Palm Sunday 2030, April 14th Gregorian, April 26th equals April 14th. April 26th. So these align. And doesn't happen every year. Like you said, like you saw, there are different dates. April 26th is always April 26th, but Palm Sunday is not always on April 14th, which is 2 weeks and 14 days. That's 2 weeks, which is 14 days, right? Palm Sunday and the Chernobyl anniversary are the same day in 2030. This is not just a calendar coincidence, and it also ties into Festival of Sacrifices, which does not happen this year. It doesn't always fall on that day. It doesn't always fall on the 14th or 13th, which is interesting. We were just talking about how 13 and 14, you could say, well, what? But this ties into them. It ties both of them together. Interesting. And that ties into Abraham, because Abraham was who was he? I don't know details, but I know that he played a big role in the Israelites, and he played a role in the, Jesus said, before Abraham I am. So, yeah. So that's interesting how that ties in there as well. This is not a calendar coincidence, it's symbolically massive. The triumphal entry of Christ in the spiritual ego, Chernobyl's judgment overlap. This means Chernobyl is prophetically aligned with the return, the reckoning, or the revelation. Because it's a gate. Interesting. All those stages came together. Alright. So, I'm going to end it here, but I'm going to have a new part talking about 2033. We're going to use 2 dates. Alright. So, I'll see you in the next one. It looks like Chernobyl is our way through here. We might have got here by accident, but I think Chernobyl might be the answer. Alright. So, I'll see you guys in the next one.